Now our next one is moving into our tax levy. This is our first read. We will approve it in December. Tim?
Yes, you have on page 137 of Board Book the levy worksheet. It shows the amount of the 2011 levy and then the amount of the extension that was allowed by the county. The CPI number for last year, 1.7%, that was for fiscal or for calendar year 2012, so that would be the limiting number that we would use. Again, as we did last year, what we want to do is we want to increase that so that we capture any kind of new property that's coming in. So the proposal is to levy at 4.95%. That makes sure that new property such as the Costco is captured with it. The county then reduces the levy down to the allowable amount. We won't know exactly what the new property is until next July, so we have to just come up with some kind of an estimate. And again, they would bring it down to the 1.7% plus whatever the actual new property is.
Plus it's Costco and all the other new restaurants going around Costco.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that shows the
Chick-fil-A.
Not all Costco, it's now.
with the. So that shows that what we would send to the county would be, including the 3% loss factor that we use for the operating funds, the total levy would be $19,382,000. The levy for debt service is $4.6 million next year. You'll notice that's down significantly from last year because, as mentioned earlier, we're making our final payment this December, next month on the working cash bonds.
Any questions for Tim on the levy worksheet?
Tim, is there any chance when you do the new, you put the adjustment to for the 495 because you're trying to make sure you're picking up new assessments, right? That you could actually, if you had a lot of buildings, say they were building a bunch of Costco's, that you still wouldn't be able to capture all the new assessment or not?
It would be possible that if you didn't put through a levy high enough, you might not capture it, but when we're limited to 1.7%, we're going at 4.9%.
It's hard to imagine.
Okay.
That's
There's
what
no
I
way
thought.
we possibly could have that much.
Okay.
We're almost tripling the amount.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions?
All things being equal, if construction was zero, we're basically limited to an increase in the levy of 1.7% is what we should expect to get.
Correct.
Okay, any other questions?
I do have a question. And one of the conference meetings, is there a cap at how high you can levy?
Yes, 5%.
5%. So,
It's 5% or the consumer price index, whichever is lower.
so why wouldn't we always, it was just a practice this one person who made. He said he always levied at the highest that you could, knowing that it would be capped, but that way he was sure that nothing would be left.
That's why we're gonna put the levy through at 4.95% instead of 1.7. The cap number for this year is 1.7%, because
Right.
that was so if there were no new property, as Mike just said,
Right.
that would be the limit.
But-
We're levying at 4.95%, so we're levying at,
Laura, I think Laura's question is why don't we just put 5%?
That-
Or a lot of districts put 4.99.
Okay, the highest we can go.
Right.
That was the
Right.
talk that the speaker gave. He always just puts through the highest you can go. And I was just asking, why wouldn't we do that?
technically, well, when you go to 5%, we do this anyway, you have to hold a public hearing and
Oh.
those types of things that, you wouldn't, at 4.95%, you wouldn't have to have a public hearing.
Okay, well,
But we do it anyway in this
Right.
district.
that answers that question. So you get as close to you can to the cap without having to have a public hearing.
No, we have a.
No, you get as close to the highest amount you can levy at
Statute would require you at 5% to do the public hearing.
without having to have the public.
So a lot of school districts will go to 4.95 or 4.99 and not hold a public hearing.
But we hold a public.
But you don't have, because you don't have to at that point.
But we
We
hold
do it
public.
anyway.
We do it anyway.
So then why don't we go at 5?
Because you're asking the same question.
I know,
Laura
but he
asked it a
said
different way.
answer.
He
Well-
said, it's so extremely unlikely that we would ever get 4.95 to add the 0.4%. It wouldn't, it's form over substance.
Well, I know,
Okay,
just a
but-
practice, you know,
yeah,
that's why I
that's
just said
true.
why they didn't do that, you know, I mean, it just seemed to make sense when you heard.
Okay, any other questions?